Welcome to Change Starts Here, a Franklin Covey education podcast for K-12 leaders driving meaningful change through bold thinking, real stories, and proven strategies for lasting impact.
Hey, listeners, welcome back to Change Starts Here Research Conversations. I am Kim Yaris, and I am so glad that you are joining me today because in my recent conversations with educators, there is this question that keeps coming up. Are people, students, and adults as curious as they used to be? Now, I think this is a meaningful question because we live in this fast paced world, right? In education, especially, things are moving quickly. And when the pace picks up, the space for wondering, for pausing, and asking why can get crowded out by the need for answers and next steps. And that's often the condition that leads to those moments where when people say, just tell me what to do, right? And honestly, I get this. Curiosity can start to feel like a luxury, like opening a door you don't have time to walk through. But here's the tension. At the very same time that leaders like you are feeling this, workforce research continues to identify curiosity as a critically important durable skill, something that is essential for problem solving, adaptability, and learning over time. So today, I want to get really clear about curiosity, not as something we try to inspire, but as something that we can support through the environments that we create. So here's where we're going to go in today's episode. We are going to start with a conventional story that we tend to tell ourselves about curiosity, name 5 research insights that give us clearer picture of what curiosity actually is and the conditions that nurture it, translate the brain science into plain language so it makes sense about what is happening when curiosity shows up or doesn't. And then we'll close with 3 practical moves that you can use right away to support curiosity in the people that you lead. And because I know that's a lot to hold into your head, you'll find a downloadable handout in the show notes that summarizes the key ideas and practices. Let's begin with the story that many of us inherited about curiosity. It goes something like this. Curiosity is a personality trait. Some people have it, some people don't. And when we believe that, the job to be done becomes sparking curiosity, adding novelty, hooks, engagement strategies. And sometimes that helps, but often it doesn't last. Here's the good news. When you zoom out across the research, you see a different story. Curiosity isn't fixed, it's responsive. And there are 5 insights from research that can help to explain why. The first is that curiosity tends to emerge when learners perceive a knowledge gap, when they can see the space between what they know and what they want to know. Too little knowledge, there's confusion. Too much, and there's no tension. Curiosity lives somewhere in the middle. Second, curiosity isn't a single experience. Sometimes it looks like joyful exploration. Other times it looks like persistence inside discomfort, that restless feeling of needing to figure something out, which means curiosity doesn't always look cheerful. Sometimes it looks like productive struggle. Third, curiosity is highly responsive to context. So, a learner who appears disengaged in one environment may be deeply curious in another. That shift alone makes curiosity move from something that we hope for to something that we can influence. Fourth, curiosity measurably improves learning and memory. When people are genuinely curious, attention deepens, connections increase, and information is more likely to stick. And finally, research reminds us that curiosity and interest are not the same. Curiosity tends to be momentary and question driven. It shows up when we want to resolve uncertainty, whereas interest develops over time and is more stable. Curiosity can grow into interest, but they are different experiences. All right. So, what do these insights add up to? Well, they tell a pretty powerful story, and that is curiosity is not random, it is responsive. So, this raises another important question. What is happening beneath the surface when curiosity appears or disappears? So, this is where understanding the neuroscience can help us out. When curiosity is active, the brain is essentially signaling that the information has value. That signal engages motivational systems and supports memory formation. But an even more important step happens before curiosity appears. The brain evaluates uncertainty. It asks, is this manageable? Is this worth exploring? If uncertainty feels overwhelming, anxiety will surface. If it feels manageable, then curiosity has the space to emerge. And that moment, that evaluation of how it feels has enormous implications for learning because what can look like disengagement may actually be moments of uncertainty tipped toward threat, which suggests that curiosity doesn't simply vanish, it's only been disrupted, right? So, in many cases, supporting curiosity isn't about adding more hooks or engagement, it's about removing friction. And that brings us to the most practical part of today's episode. Three small practices that leaders can use right away to make it so curiosity is more likely to show up. And remember, you can find these strategies in the handout available in the show notes. The good news is you don't need a special program or initiative to support curiosity development. The strategies I'm about to share are small shifts you can use right away. And the first one is this: building tiny moments of prediction. So before revealing information, invite learners to guess. In classrooms, that might sound like, what do you think is going to happen when I drop this stone into this flask of water? Or which graph do you think matches the situation? With adults, it could be, before we look at this data, what pattern do you expect to see? Prediction creates a knowledge gap you can feel. And even incorrect guesses help because they create investment in finding out what happens next. The key here is to keep the stakes low, right? If wrong answers feel risky, people stop predicting. And but when prediction is framed as hypothesis rather than evaluation, curiosity increases. All right, practice 2, normalize uncertainty. This means making it visible that not knowing is part of learning. That can look like modeling phrases such as, I'm not sure yet, or I think I need more information about that. It can also mean protecting thinking time, allowing silence after a question, or giving space to draft ideas before discussion. In those moments, how a leader responds matters. Like when uncertainty is met with embarrassment or correction, curiosity retreats. When it's met with calm interest, the environment communicates that wondering is safe. And once uncertainty feels safe, the next question becomes whether wondering leads to something, which brings us to our third and final practice, making sure questions don't hit a dead end. This might look like setting aside a few minutes in a meeting to explore one shared question with data or observation, or asking teams to bring a piece of student thinking alongside one question they're still wondering about. So, the goal here isn't to solve everything, it's to show that wondering leads somewhere. Because when people see movement, they keep wondering. And when they don't, that wondering starts to fade. Even a small closure, we can't answer this yet, but here's what we'll try next, can keep curiosity alive. So, when I think back to where we started, that quiet wondering about whether curiosity is fading, what stands out to me now is this: curiosity isn't something learners either have or don't have. It's something that responds to conditions. It responds to whether gaps feel visible, whether uncertainty feels safe, and whether questions lead somewhere, which means leaders don't have to manufacture opportunities for curiosity. They just can simply design for it. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. If you'd like a summary of the ideas and practices we discussed today, you can download the handout in today's show notes. And for the rest, I hope that you'll join us again in 2 weeks for another episode of Change Starts Here Research Conversations. Take care.
Franklin Covey Education is a trusted partner in developing leaders from the classroom to the boardroom in over 8,000 schools in over 70 countries.